Is it safe to say that we are in a recession, that things are starting to hit, things are at least starting to dip? My question is what do we do about all this? How do we position ourselves? And I'm here to say a lot of things here today. All I want to start out with is a simple living life, the way I've designed my life. I live way below my wages. I make really good money. I have lots of food banked up. I have fuels and solar panels, and I got money in the bank. And I'm just looking at the fear I have for most people around me, and you're starting to see the tension right now in these times of 2022, especially with this war in Russia and supply chain disruptions and things like that. And the thing that scares me is how many people are cemented in, both financially, emotionally, I'd say spiritually, mindfully. A lot of people think that we're stuck. And I don't know what the exact message I'm trying to convey here today, other than it feels good to live the way I do, the simple life. It was the thought in my mind was how when things get bad and I start adding up all of my emergency funds and what is my plan, what do I do? And I have outs, and I know that a lot of people don't. And I think we've all cemented ourselves into an area here where it's getting it could be pretty dangerous. And I think we're starting to see the effects of it. I think that we're not being told everything that's going on. But what sprung me today is that a large company, that a client of mine who I did a job for in the construction industry, doesn't have enough money to pay. They're in the commercial production, right? They're a producer of some sorts. And the company's going broke. And I'm a little nervous to get my cash out, but I'm starting to see it in a lot of businesses where things are starting to get very, very wonky. And I wonder how long this is going to go on before people start to get hurt. And I guess I look over everything that we speak about on the show of what to treat your life like a business. And as recently, in 2021, when or 2020, when the pandemic broke open, was noticing that my business was actually safe as well, that I had emergency funds in there. I didn't really quite think of them as emergency funds, but I had money stored up, working capital, right? And when I looked at how the businesses, restaurant industries and things were closing, that to think of your business as an entity in and of itself as well, that it needs to keep functioning. That's the thing that feeds you. That's what puts bread on the table, right? We don't really produce anything anymore. We need to go produce money to buy the produce that we need. So it's very important in our day and age to have this level of understanding. And yet we have people all over the place just almost aimlessly walking around doing what they're told, doing what they learned or in public education and maybe from their parents and just from society around them. And it doesn't seem like it's serving them too well. I live in an RV park, full-time, stationary RV living. My overhead is super low. I'm paying a third of what most people pay here in San Diego, California, and you can see how strapped people are. And the buzz just keeps coming on and on. It's building and building and building. And this is for lack of better definitions in society's eyes, they would say this is the bottom of the barrel, right? I think this is the lowest. We are a lower class of people. A lot of the people here they live from paycheck to paycheck, and I appear as one of these people, right? But I'm incognito. I'm a thousandaire. I'm not really rich, but I'm not really poor at all. I'm just strategically set. And I don't know what to say. Then I'm very concerned for the well-being of people. I think that we definitely need to stop focusing on the aesthetics of things and start focusing more on the functionality. How are these things serving you? How is this life treating you, right? How are you allowing it to treat you? Have you positioned yourself in an area that's lucrative, that feeds you, right? That brings you happy, that brings you joy? Or are you just working just to get by? Are we just surviving, right? Why aren't we all thriving? I think a lot of us don't really want to put in the work and things like that. But I do see a lot of people with ambition and putting in hard work, but maybe possibly putting it the wrong way and into the wrong things. We need abundance in our life. We need joy. Joy to me is not going out, and maybe to certain individuals it is, but just for a night or two and blowing your paycheck, without any emergency reserves of cash, cash or the right type of cash flow, that you deserve to get broke. I just saw it last night, and it just bothered me. Somebody really upset. And I'm looking, going, all the things that they invest their money in there's no ROI. There's no return on investment. A fish pond, a wood deck, right? A wood deck around your trailer. Why not invest? So you'd ask me, well, what would we do? What should you do? Well, maybe you should go and start producing some of your own food. Maybe you could do like I do, where you don't own the land. You just go find some people and tell them, hey, I'll pay the water bill, and I'll give you produce, some food in exchange for me working your land, right? Start a new business on off hours. Somebody has a workshop or something. Maybe you can go over there at nighttime, clean things up for them. In exchange, you get to use it for a few hours to do whatever it is you want, to maybe produce something, start a new business. It's like one of the best times to ever be alive. We have so much stuff at our hands, and I just see a lot of stuff just being thrown, cast aside. We have so many ways to make money on the internet. We have a lot of people, like where I live. You got to look at the outs. What are the positives? What are the things that you see around you? The opportunities. Like one that I see is there's a lot of wealthy people here who've spent what I opened this conversation up with. They know how to make money. They're really good at making money. They got mansions. They got this huge piece of property. But they have no idea how to plant a tree, how to grow a tomato, right? So a lot of them don't even know. One of the guys told me, he goes, what's a kale? Like a kale. Well, it's a scrumptious, cooked right as a nice little vegetable. It's supposed to be healthy for you. It was all the rave before, not too much now, I guess, in 2022, but I don't know. I think there's a whole wide cast of openings, of things all around us. All we have to do is keep searching for those things. As I say a lot to my children, don't let your magic be murdered. Don't let your curiosity be killed. Start looking for the openings instead of focusing on all the closed doors, right? So I think we really need to start stepping up right now. I think that this could be a very bad point. Now, I don't see how it's supposed to get better with the economics. And the thing that gets me, too, is that a lot of us are trying to figure it out, right? I listen to a lot of different podcasts and economists and things like that, and I keep searching for answers like, is the economy going to crash? Is this going to happen? Is it going to get better? The answer is nobody knows. So why would we bank, or why would we sit floating on this decision, and the level, right? The level, when I can't think of the balancing beam here. What we have is we have Wall Street. If Wall Street goes down, the economy crashes. So we're teeter-tottering on a bunch of people who make more money than the government. Supposedly, I don't know all the inner workings, but it seems like Wall Street is one of the most powerful entities on the planet, that all the government could really do is try to regulate it, right? So the point I guess I want to make here is all these people making this huge amounts of money, that whole system collapses. Our whole system is built around that. So how do we fix something like that? Well, maybe we put our systems into educating ourselves to get out of compartmentalism, out of what the public education has led us to believe. And why don't we start focusing on a lot of different things, like how to fix things, right? Like your car, right? Or a house, right? Either one of those two, just those two, you would say a construction worker or a mechanic is a lower paid person, a lower grade of as far as making money. But when the crap hits the fan, which it seems like it is, those are very valuable things, right? If there's no supplies, right, you're going to need to build stuff yourself, right, to maybe 3D print some auto parts or something. If you have the knowledge to not only print these things, but to also install them and repair things, you're very, very valuable. Now, why am I saying some of this? Is because some of these people with money are starting to invest into land as a secondary, as a buffer. They're saying, I don't know. There's a 15 to 20% chance that everything could crash, that we could have a really huge global correction coming. And the best place that I can think of for me to have security, some of these wealthy people, is to buy a 25, 50 acre ranch, right? And develop it to where I have got water, I've got a place to grow food, raise animals and things like that. They're going back to the land as a secondary, right? As a plan B. So if we just think about that for a second, they're going backwards in evolution. especially this technological evolution. We got threats of cyber attacks and things like that. If things got really, really bad, the people with money are going back to the land. Maybe you might want to think about doing something like that. Maybe we should start looking. When those people start looking at things like this, that's what it gets me concerned, going, what do you guys know that we don't know? But just the fact that that is happening, I think, is a wonderful thing. But it also reveals to us, to me at least personally, that the back to the land movement and the place to aim ourselves, right? The place to apply yourself, the energy, the money, all of these things, your health, should be applied to a certain extent to doing something with the land, producing something for yourself. Basically, growing up, I think, as a human being, into realizing that you need the earth, and the earth has a lot of resources, right? I think this war is probably about uranium or something, I don't know. There's water that was being said. Either one of those, they're all resources. And that's what they go after, these resources. They change them into things, products, and then they sell them to us. They have us chasing money, which they print for us to buy these things that they take from the earth. But what a lot of people, I guess, don't understand is that it wasn't so far long ago that a lot of us actually produced a lot. I wouldn't say 100%, but a lot of our own stuff from the land as well. We are miners. We are mining the earth. And if we do it in the right way with permacultural, natural farming techniques and various other things, we can actually manipulate the earth in a good way to where we get perpetual motion. We get return on investment that's perpetual. A fruit tree just lasts for many, many years, right? Hundreds of years. It'll outlive you. You can produce wood for fibers, for building products, for energy, to burn, to cook, to dehydrate foods, many, many different things. We can use a parabolic lens and put it in the sun just like a giant magnifying glass and melt steel or cause a steam combustion engine. There's so many things that we can do. There's Tesla coils, right? We can take static electricity from the air and actually charge batteries. There's so many things that we're missing. And I think that maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time. Whether times get bad or times are good, if we really think about it, what better life to live than to be a producer of a lot of things in your life? I mean, I'm getting fed up. I've got sour cream inside my refrigerator that's a month old and it still hasn't rotted. I've had flour tortillas since my mini retirement of last year, people. Last year, July. Still hasn't hardened, still hasn't molded. What's being done with the food? Right? What's being done with our money? What's being done with our children? I was just playing with my daughter the other night, stacking plastic cups up on each other and coloring in a coloring book and things like that. And it just brought me out again to, you know what? We all just want to be with each other and color the book of life. So that's what I got. That's what I think. I don't know what's going on here, but that's what I think. What do you guys think?